Welcome to not quite another episode of Volume 1, the anime manga podcast, where we usually review the first volume of a brand new manga each week. Today, we're doing something a little different. We're reviewing Chapter 1 of Dandadan by Tatsu Yukinobu, who is an assistant to the Fujimoto. We're just going to talk first impressions, kind of general thoughts on Chapter 1. My name is Josh Horny Alien Michaels, and today, as always, I'm joined by
Megan Old Hag Perrine.
Cody Otaku Boy Decker.
Cody the Conspirator Decker.
Yes.
Oh.
Cody, speaking of Cody the Conspirator Decker, Cody's the one that brought this to our attention. We are Fujimoto simps. I don't know if you could say that on YouTube anymore.
I was trying to find something that I'm like, that hasn't come out yet, that I'm like, okay, that seems like it'll be good. And then we found out that it's connected to Fujimoto. Like all these works are just connected to him.
All good things are connected to Fujimoto. Spy X Family's even connected to Fujimoto. Fire Punch, of course. Chainsaw Man, of course. But Hell's Paradise. Even Fujimoto himself tweeted when this series came out, saying Dandadan was really, really stupidly good, highly recommended.
Ooh.
And that's coming from the god himself.
Yeah, I think that Yuji Kaku, which is the mangaka of Hell's Paradise, they like work together, this mangaka and him on
Fire Punch.
Fire Punch, yeah. So that's pretty cool.
And he even tweeted, Kaku tweeted, out of everyone I know, Tatsu Sensei has the best overall art abilities.
The art of this is solid.
Yeah.
I will say, out of, Fujimoto's work is just so, at this point, iconic to me, but this is beautiful. This gives it a run for its money. This is, I would say, the closest to Fujimoto, but still, it's more,
there's more style to it.
Yes, dude. I was blown away by some of these panels and these characters. I mean, as soon as you showed me, and again, there's no official translation for this chapter. I think there's only even a couple chapters out. There's no official translation out yet. So, we are going to be sort of not guessing, but hoping that the translation is somewhat accurate. But in everything I've seen so far, I was completely blown away.
It's really nice.
Just a really nice character moments, really nice the action shots the visuals of it are really good. And then there's very, artistic choices that are made where it's like, yeah, this is someone's vision for sure.
Yeah, I will say, and again, I don't necessarily like to compare other works to people's other works that aren't them. We just did don't laugh like that. We just did another podcast where we compared two works by the same person, but I don't want to compare this to Chainsaw Man too much, but
yeah, I was honestly kind of upset when I found out this was also connected to Fujimoto, because I was like, all right, this will be a thing that no one will I can't escape. I was like, God damn it. One thing not connected to him.
I will say it is the closest to Chainsaw Man in spirit, I think, than anything else that's come out of the Fujimoto camp.
And I think this starts with two characters that you're already rooting for. And I think that had to be built up more in Chainsaw Man. But this is something like...
In one chapter.
A lot happens in one chapter.
In one chapter, I felt like I was reading a fucking volume.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was intense, insane. A lot of things happen. A lot of just overall, with the characters, they're just growing closer, and it didn't feel rushed, which is weird because it is very much rushed. It is only one chapter, so they did a lot. He did an amazing job hooking the reader.
Yeah, I will say that it did hook me, and that there was a lot of bold artistic choices made that in the end won me over. However, had they not, I would have been left feeling very uncomfortable. I do think this first chapter does cram a lot into one chapter, and it does feel jam-packed, not necessarily to its detriment, but at times it does feel like, wow, this is a lot of information I'm having to take in. But it I think works. I think for more than one reason. The main character is she's probably the most likable character that we meet in chapter 1, especially compared to the otaku conspiracy theorist kid.
Which I thought it was just gonna be that guy, but there was a moment where I'm like, I completely relate to that kind of mentality that he had. I'm like, yeah, I'm rooting for this guy.
I mean, he does sort of kind of win me over too, but I think, out of the gate, I was really invested in her. I mean, she's a strong character, but she's also a very teenage character. She's kind of shallow, but not typical, not in a typical way.
Well, like she surrounds herself with the people that you would consider like shallow girls, I guess, because they're all like gayuru out, like the makeup and the nails, and she's with like with guys talking about boys all the time, but like she's able to stand up for people and like do what she wants to do.
And I guess that's what so it's not that she's necessarily shallow, but she does have like a certain vision for the type of guy she wants to be, and has been with terrible guys.
Making terrible decisions based on movies that she's seen.
Right.
And it's like very realistic.
Yeah.
Very attraction oriented, not so much in the personality department.
Yeah. And then you get the complexity of her, but she doesn't just like let it just happen. She will be like, no, okay, we have to not. She will then like go and kick him in the head.
Yeah.
When he like says something too far.
Yeah.
And then he will proceed to kick her.
Which was interesting that it doesn't open with her like doing like a full on move and then like just knocking the guy out and being like, that shows you.
Yeah.
The guy does like fight back and then he is like, you want to
you fucking bitch. Like, I was like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah. And then, it's through her friends that we learn that she's built a reputation.
She keeps dating guys that look like an actor.
The stoic.
We are given the comparison to Clint Eastwood.
Their Japanese version of Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, the Japanese version of Clint Eastwood.
I get it. I was really impressed with what they do with that. The part that confused me, I'm like, I really don't see how this can go for like a volume. Like that was all that story already. So I'm like, what's chapter 3 gonna do?
Yeah. I have some notes down, some bullet points that I really wanted to hit. A lot of people, and I don't know if it's just because, I think a lot of it is because Fujimoto highly recommends this series, that there is so much hype behind it, especially this early on. And people are obviously comparing it to other really popular series that are happening and debuting and kind of in their prime sort of right now. Kaiju number 8, a lot of people are saying
Jujutsu Kaisen
in
the first episode only.
Absolutely. I don't want to say that it is anything like Jujutsu Kaisen from that point on, but definitely in the beginning. The
occult club, high school,
100%.
Just like that aspect, but
100%.
Nothing else really, reminded me of it at all.
Yeah, and I went back, Jujutsu Kaisen, Kaiju number 8, obviously Chainsaw Man. So I went back and I kind of did look at all of these series that it's being compared to. I looked at their first chapter, so what they were able to accomplish in one chapter versus what Dandadan accomplished in one chapter. And I do have to say that again, it just comes back to it just being so jam-packed. And I think it's for an obvious reason, in that it's setting up two characters that are both, coming into their own. They're both becoming something by the end of the first chapter, whereas all these other things are doing that with one character. And this is having to do it with two characters. But I do think it does it well.
A very solid job of it. It didn't feel like, okay, that's just happened. It's just like, the characters get they each get their moments to establish like who they are, and I'm like, I'm rooting for both of them. And the story's been set up enough for me to be like, okay, I can see where this could go. I don't know how they'll go about it based on what I just saw. Yeah. Because if you're going to start on that note, where do you go from there?
And just overall, the situation that happens and occurs, like, it's just so funny, just like right off the bat. They go on their missions or whatever, and then exactly what you they want to happen happens, and then they're like, oh fuck, maybe that wasn't such a good idea, guys.
They each go to prove that the other person's beliefs are wrong.
Well, yeah, because one character believes in the supernatural, and the other character believes in the extraterrestrial.
Which it's one of those weird things where aliens are considered like paranormal, but those aren't like supernatural beings if they exist. They would just be like living.
Yeah.
It's weird how they're lumped in with paranormal things when they wouldn't be
It's more supernatural versus sci-fi, I guess. I think those are two distinct sort of.
They are like lumped in together.
Yeah.
It's just weird that they are. It's like how sci-fi and fantasy is lumped together. Like those are completely different things.
Yeah, but I do think it is done extremely well here. I really like the way that they play off each other's experience.
And I like because the boy is getting like picked on, and she steps in, stops, and then is like, "What are you doing?" Actually, I don't care anymore. And then they do that whole dare thing, but then the boy like does like oh yeah, well if I'm like he doesn't do the thing that I feel like a lot of stories would go where he's like, okay, well will you kiss me? Will you kiss me if it turns out I'm right? He is like, if I'm right, you're gonna have to be my servant for a month. He has like a backbone to him that you don't usually get to see with a character who looks like that.
Oh no, Momo's going for the nerdy guy now. Oh, I guess that's cute.
Yeah. I absolutely like. I loved this first chapter, and honestly, for a first chapter, there's so much kind of to talk about. This will end up being obviously a shorter video, but I do feel like we could talk about this for a very long time. There's just so much to unpack. I do think that it does kind of take a turn, and it does sort of veer slightly lewd at a certain point. But
slightly,
so. I mean, incredibly so, like Cody said. But also, it's ultimately for a punchline. That I think, if again that punchline had
heartwarming.
And if it hadn't landed, then I would have had a very different opinion about this series. But it's all done for a joke.
Yeah.
Again, that thankfully.
And I mean, they're aliens.
Yeah.
What else do aliens do?
That's true. They abduct people and probe.
That's all we'll say. Don't say yeah.
And the shot that got me interested in it of her like in the hallway while these like three like clearly not humans are like standing there. That's the thing that was like, oh, this will be good. Those shots though, they are creepy.
No, they're extremely terrifying. I drew one here, and I bet fuck these guys.
Yes,
they're scary.
They're so scary, and I do have to say like. Perspective, the way that I don't want to get their name wrong, Tatsu draws the perspective and just the way he chooses to frame these panels, it adds to the eeriness of some of these shots, like that shot specifically where they're in these human masks, and then even when
the way they run, where it's like
the double page spreads are like amazing in this manga already. Like I'm so excited to see.
Oh yeah, and then the final double page spread is.
Oh yeah, the big reveal at the end of chapter 1.
Guys, I'm hooked.
I am too.
That took me. I was like, oh, they're throwing in the sakura blossoms. Like, like that shit gets me. I was so happy to see that. My heart literally, where did I write? I literally wrote, like, I don't even know. My heart, like, just sank. And I was like, oh.
I was so impressed by how believable their relationship was.
Yeah.
I was like, normally we just zoom past this. They just talk to each other now.
Yeah, we're friends, right?
Yeah, they have to say that out loud.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, I believe that these people will like keep, and that they'd be good together.
Yeah, I do think they'd be good together.
Yes.
And I do think that it handles their relationship extremely well, but I also think it handles like where the first chapter leaves off. Like there's a problem that is not resolved, and it's a big problem, and it doesn't even like I wrote this down as one of my points is I have no idea where it's gonna go after this. Like there's so many stories where you can kind of you can figure like it'll probably end up being this and being that, but by the end of this I know that there's something that needs to be done. I don't know if it will get done. I don't know if they're going to even try to do it. I don't know what will happen.
We'll talk about the ending thing, but I love that as the setup for their adventures. That's such a this is like it does get like lewd or whatever, but then it like works for the story it's telling and these characters. And as like wacky as I feel like that setup at the end of chapter 1 feels, it does also seem like pretty appropriate for the idea of them that it becomes like a story about teenage love. I think that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, and what I do hope it keeps playing with is, like I said earlier, this supernatural meets sci-fi. I hope they really start going into more of like a ghost, a cult sort of thing, while simultaneously doing like an alien, maybe sort of AI. I hope that there's like sci-fi and supernatural consistently
I love
and constantly
those
woven.
worlds fighting. And
Yeah,
colliding.
that's so cool.
Yeah, and like the possibilities are endless. You're like, oh, I really love these two characters, and like, oh wait, obviously they're gonna have to introduce more characters, and I'm probably gonna like too.
Yeah, that's the
So-
thing. This is just chapter
Chapter-
1.
Yeah,
Like if that was the ending to a volume 1, I would have
it
felt.
felt like a one shot.
I would have been satisfied
It really
with it.
did.
It felt like a fucking one shot.
Mhm.
Like it completed story. Oh, my name? Huh.
Yeah.
Glad you asked. And then that just double
it should
panel.
be a-
Like it could.
Yeah. You know what, Megan? I think you said it best. Is it did feel exactly like a one shot. And as far as expectations for this series go, my expectations are through the roof. Obviously, because of Fujimoto's recommendation, him being an assistant, all that, but because of what I've seen too. Like, and again, like we've talked about Hell's Paradise on our channel before. We did what we call a volume done on Hell's Paradise, which means that we read the entire series. And although it pales in comparison, in I think all our opinion, to Chainsaw Man, it had its really, really strong moments. But I think this, even just in chapter 1, has the potential to for me, outshine Hell's Paradise by a lot. By a lot.
Easily. And also not even just in storytelling, which I think already way more for character moments and emotional stuff and just all these different levels of the human experience, but then also the way fight scenes are shown and the way characters move was very fun.
So much energy.
The
like
one
so much
character-
energy.
So much
he like
energy, yes.
moves around like a break dancer kind of, where their limbs can just pop freely and you see them like moving like a wild man and running on walls while explosions are happening behind them.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, amazing. And not to keep comparing either, but I think it for me, it goes without saying that I cannot wait, and I hope this gets an official translation soon. I hope that it
I want a
gets all
physical.
the love. I need a physical copy.
Yeah.
And now we know, because it happened when we finally buy as many volume 1s as we can that way we can avoid them not being available when the series
Which
picks
has
up.
happened with Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, and it will continue to happen to many people.
But I hope this gets as much love, and I hope this gets as much attention as Chainsaw Man has got. And again, we've talked about Chainsaw Man a lot on our channel too, and something I loved about Chainsaw Man, similar to this, is how hooked I was just in the first chapter. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again, with Chainsaw Man, it was the first few panels I was hooked. And this, almost the same. It was almost exactly the same. There's that sort of, not full page spread, but it's a more extended sort of look at our main character, and she's got this attitude and just the line quality and the character design and the shading and the hatching and everything. I was like, I'm in. I'm in for whatever story this mangaka has to tell, like, aesthetically, visually, I'm in. On top of that, you're going to give me a good, interesting, sort of insane story. I'm there. I'm there for all of it. I'm hooked.
I'm putting my chips in.
I'm putting all my eggs in the Tatsu basket.
Do we want to avoid going into too many spoiler details or
Yeah, since
Like
it is the
the-
first chapter.
the setup and stuff too? Which I
Yeah.
feel like that could be we can save that. But
Yeah.
I was happy that one character was not the useful one and the other one was the joke one. I really like how it's pretty clear that already that person will serve this role and that person will serve that role. And you get to see right when they first have their thing, how they are both useful and how they both can be overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think if you're still even a little on the fence about this, read it. We'll try to in the description below, if you're watching this on YouTube, we'll try to include a link to the translated version that we read.
But I do not believe that is the official meaning.
Yeah,
I feel like it kinda has to be.
I wrote, stop right there, ma'am. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I was
Yeah.
like, is that what you're saying?
I mean, context clues based on what's happening in the
I think-
panels. I feel like it has to be.
I think general context, absolutely, that's what they're saying. I do not believe that is what the grandma is saying.
Grandmama.
I believe
But
it is.
I believe it
based on
is.
visual effect, based on scenes
what
that
I
happen,
mean.
it's not unbelievable either.
It has to be
I-
because of
I-
what happens.
I
Yeah.
feel like
Because
it's
it's
just
so crazy.
yeah.
Like she would it's such a like oddball thing for her to say.
It's just such a sharp,
and then
intense thing to say.
it sets the tone
Yeah.
for the
Stealing your catchphrase.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
save it for the volume one, dude.
I'll save it again.
Yeah.
Which goes without saying, again, that this is obviously a series we'd love to do a volume 1 on, but I think there's only, as of recording this, I think 3 chapters out.
Are there 3 already?
There's for sure 2.
There's
Okay.
for sure too. Not one. The other one's not translated yet, but
I only saw one shot that I showed you guys where the character design starts evolving more, where it becomes like, all right, that's your hero look, and I really like it. I'm a sucker for, fusion things.
Yeah, dude. And then the crazy thing about it, and I said it earlier in this episode, this could go anywhere. I mean, even in the first chapter, it
Couldn't
was
tell you.
it
If
was
that was
all
the-
over the place in the best way.
If that was the ending of the first volume, I'd be like, that's a great setup for the rest of that story. That is everything a volume 1 should have been.
Yeah.
So I'm like, the fight was great. The action, you can see like how, like the way the aliens get like lines and stuff and that visual effects, like we're gonna see more of that for when, because there's both sides. There's aliens, there's
Yeah.
also pure supernaturals, and then like they're gonna visually affect the world and their minds with that.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you can, like, how is the climax gonna like make that seem like tame?
Yeah, I don't know. If you're still, like I said, on the fence about it, it's supernatural meets sci-fi. There is, I think, the humor's a little raunchy and it does get a little lewd, but it all pays off. There's a purpose and a reason for all of it, and it actually has a touching, heartwarming ending without giving exact plot points away. I highly recommend this, especially if you're a fan of Fujimoto, even if you're a fan of
Yuji Kaku.
yeah, from Hell's Paradise. I mean, this comes recommended from them too. So don't just take our
Big
word
dogs.
for it. It
I mean,
comes
we're
from the
big dogs. We're big
Yeah.
dogs, but they're big dogs.
They're bigger dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys have anything else you want to say before we wrap this up?
Damn. That was a good manga.
Oh, that's perfect, actually.
I actually really
My voice
do like
didn't crack, by the way.
Thank
that was
you. I gotta
Oh,
get
there's something wrong with the microphones.
yeah. We need to do it. Oh,
it's just fun.
that's why we're in.
It's just fun.
Any Megan notes before we wrap it up? This is tradition.
Nope, that's pretty much everything.
yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, go read this series. Go read this chapter at least.
Yeah, the
And,
series,
yeah.
the chapter.
It does kind of feel like I read
It does,
series.
it does.
But
One shot.
this is something that I will be shocked if it's not popular. So this will be a chance to get in on something before like it's popular.
Great point.
And I don't know. I think it's cool to do that. Not in the sense of like, oh, now it's popular, like, but like you can at least buy the volumes before they start getting
Yeah.
sold out.
And you
Because
get
I
to
did-
watch, you get to watch something that you love and something that you care about. You get to watch it grow, and you get to see more people fall in love with it, and it is a really special thing.
It's only the first chapter, and I'm full cosplay, so
Oh
That
yeah,
should
we
give me
already
something.
we already figured that out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and if and when we do get to do a volume 1 on this series, we have all of our cosplay planned
Yeah.
out.
oh yeah.
A slot has already been reserved for as soon as the final chapter comes out for the first volume. So
Yeah, and we're probably going to do it anyway, but if you think we should do a volume 1, let us know in the comments down below. Like I said, we're probably going to do it regardless because of how much we love just the first chapter, but also if you've read it, let us know what you think.
Yes,
If
because we don't know anyone who's read it so far
Yeah.
besides us. So
because it just came out, so and if you know something similar to something that's new that's coming out, that you get a good vibe off of.
Yeah.
because I think that's fun to just try to like figure out like what's gonna be a thing in 5 years.
Yeah. And if you do read it, if we are able to put that link in the description, and if you do read it, let us know. You can let us know either in the comments, give us your quick sort of opinion on the chapter, or you can hop into our Discord, which there should be a link for down below too, and you can talk to us in there about it. Yeah, it's gonna be cool to get in on this thing early because it's gonna be a hit. I feel it. Especially based on what I've seen so far. So if you haven't already, read Dandadan. And if you haven't already, You can also watch our other Fujimoto Hell's Paradise. I keep forgetting the mangaka's name.
Yuji Kaku.
Yes. You can watch our other reviews on those series somewhere around here. But as per usual, I think. So should we just say it, or should we just get out of here on our outro that's always the same and never changes like we usually do?
Yeah, we definitely will.
Which today is,
and what I
is I think we're on the same page about what.
Dan, more like damn Daniel.
Oh my God, that was not worth it.
Oh, that was not the one.
No, I think he was thinking of a different one.
Today, Junior.
Oh my God,
Megan, she started so high. I thought it was gonna be.
Where's my banana?
I got
that. Not bad, and that will.
But I got a hint. I got a clue. A hint.
I told
you. Cisco. What is song does Cisco sing?
Oh, dun 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 dun.
I like that one.
I thought we were gonna go with damn to damn damn damn. What a good manga.
Oh, we were all not on the same page.
Not even.
I was on the same page.
This never happens.
I know. Actually, we can do that. Dan to Dan to Dan is a good manga.
Okay. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Check out the podcast if you haven't already.
Our podcast.
Yeah, our podcast.
Our
okay.
podcast.
Yeah.
Volume 1 podcast.
Check out the Volume 1 podcast.
We review a new manga each week.
Each week. And
Each
until
week.
next time.
Damn. That was a good manga. Today, Junior. You guys really like that one?